Hello, Knights fans. Back with this week's edition of the FDU Men's Basketball Report. As always, joined by Coach Greg Herenda. Coach, hard-fought game at NJIT. It was a one-possession game for most of that second half. You had a lead with 2 minutes to go, and then they went ahead, and then you had a couple last-minute chances there to tie it. Just walking through the team's overall effort and performance in the game.
Yeah, I think that game was really illustrated how we want to play on the road in our conference, except we need to play a little bit better and execute better. But we did the things that we wanted to do. We ran good offense. We played good defense. We could have rebounded better and executed a little better down the stretch. But that was the formula for success. So coming out of that game, obviously we wanted it dearly. But as a coach, I feel very comfortable knowing that we're on the right track. And we have, with Jahlil with the ball and Noah, we have two freshmen that are, just growing up really, really fast. But, give credit to NJIT. They made some really tough big threes, and we didn't. We made 3 free throws in the last 3 minutes. We didn't make the plays, but I'm confident that that's a really a sign of how we're going to play in the future, except we'll be on the top end of the winning column. But I thought that was a really exciting, good game that'll help us grow, and I'm very excited about the future of winning basketball games on the road, even though we still haven't done it. We know it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, you got a chance with a guy who's a big shot maker and Darian Anderson,
Right.
your senior leader. How did that play go as planned? I mean, he got a pretty clean look at the basket with the game-tying 3 attempt, but was it the play you drew up, or did it go as planned, or was it a little more improv?
Everyone draws plays up, and then things happen within the play, so it never goes exactly. But, yeah, we put the ball in our best player's hands, and the possession when we were tied 66, he had a pull-up jump shot. We looked into Mike. We couldn't get into Mike. He had another great shot that he always makes. So like I said before, we're going to make those plays, but at least we did the correct things to put us in the position to win. So I'm very happy, even though we didn't come out on top. I just know that this team works really hard. We have good players, and we have a good formula for success.
We've talked a lot about Jahlil Jenkins so far this season. He earned NEC Rookie of the Week honors, had 10 points, 7 assists, 2 big steals in the loss at NJIT. Right. When we've talked about his success so far, Jahlil, he started every game at the point for you. Yes. But looking ahead now for the rest of the season, what do you really want to see him develop and continue to mature in his game?
I just think, he's played 10 games to this point and against very good opponents. And he's just growing. And I've said it from the first interview and the first time we started recruiting him. He's a beautiful person inside, so he just exudes positivity, and just good things are going to happen to him, and if good things happen to him, they're going to happen for us. But he's very quick. He's starting to knock down big shots really early in his career. He finds people, and against NJIT, I told the guys, listen, if you have a chance to step up in the passing angle and whack, he does it. So Jahlil Jenkins, along with Noah, is the unsung hero for our freshman class. Elijah Williams is going to be a terrific player. And Tyler Jones, who hasn't gotten enough court time, is a really solid player. So our freshman class is really, really good. And I'm just happy that Jahlil was recognized, by our league. But I think this is a class that's going to be heard from for a long time.
Definitely. So now you wrap up the non-conference schedule with one more formidable test in the University of Maryland.
Right.
The one thing that jumps out on paper is each team's leading scorers from St. John's College High School in the Washington, D.C. area. Obviously, our own Darian Anderson and Anthony Cowers Jr. from Maryland. Talk a little bit about that dynamic and Darian's chance to kind of go home and play in front of some fans.
No, it's funny because when I first got the job and went down and recruited Darian, all those guys were on the floor, and Mark Turgeon and I sat together watching them. And Mark, I admired the freshman he was getting, and he admired Darian, so it was kind of a Maryland love fest, and it's worked out for everybody. So it's kind of apropos that, Mark and the University of Maryland's been gracious enough to invite us down there. So, and I think Darian's bringing a lot of people, and I'm sure they'll have a lot of people there. So it's a really, really good basketball game, selfishly for Darian Anderson, but also for our program. We've had good players from, Stephon Jiggets and Earl Potts and all those guys. That's the reason we tried to get back down there. And now it's, I think it's Darian's, I'm not sure, I don't want to let anything out of the bag, but I think Darian's mother's birthday potentially. So it's a big night. But for us, it's our last, out-of-conference game. We think we can win the basketball game, but we know we have to do a lot of things really well. We respect Maryland. I respect Mark. I remember him as a great player at Kansas. He's a great coach at A&M and now at the University of Maryland. So I still can't get it out of my mind that it's a Big Ten school because I grew up, man, and Maryland was just one of the iconic ACC schools. But now we're playing our third Big Ten team, and we'll have to play really well, but we're excited about it.
Yeah, you get the Big Ten teams, Rutgers, a traditional Big East team, and then
Yes.
the ACC team in Maryland.
Yes.
Last week we talked about John Sterling being on the program. He
Right.
got a little due to a rescheduling. He's now will be on this
Yeah,
week.
we bumped Sterling.
Yeah, but you did have Doug McDermott, the New York
Yes.
Knicks forward, who's got ties to us through your assistant coach, Pat Sellers, who
Right.
coached him while he was the player of the year at Creighton.
Right.
Talked about that interview that aired last week with McDermott.
Well, first of all, I get all my own guests. This is only the second guest that I haven't gotten myself. The first guest was Boomer Esiason, who was helped Kenny O'Boyle helped us out to get Boomer, and then now getting McBuckets, Doug McDermott on the show was Pat Sellers, was an assistant coach there for Pat's senior year. Excuse me, for Doug's senior year. But what a great guy, and if you, hopefully you guys listen to the show, but it's just a humble, and I compared the Knicks to ourselves, the Knights, because the Knicks are a very young, exciting team that plays really well at home, and they can't figure it out on the road, and that's the situation that we're in right now. But yeah, Doug was the fifth all-time leading scorer in NCAA history. His dad was a terrific coach, and so I think that was our third NBA player to be on the show. So if you can get me, I remember when you interviewed here, you told me you were going to be able to get me some guests, and so far, Brian, you haven't done that.
I kind of was a intermediary for Jerry Recco, but no, for the most part, I haven't really brought in any guests.
Okay, I don't remember that, but I'll give you half. I'll give you half a check for Greg.
Okay, I'll work on digging into my clientele and figuring out who we
And
can
if
get.
anybody's out there, fans that have, and we've had people from all walks of life, on the show. It doesn't have to be sports or basketball. It could be anybody. So, but I love doing the show. It's the 1 hour a week where I get out of the gym and I just I enjoy it. It's a good release. It's a good, I think it's a good opportunity for people to bring them into Fairleigh Dickinson's world. So Doug has guaranteed me that he's either coming to a game or a practice. So and John Sterling wants to get on air as well. So, and maybe help us Tish, and we can get him on air. So I think it's a positive for everybody.
Yeah, I think we could definitely make a little bit of room for the iconic John Sterling in our box.
He would be a treat to have in the Rothman Center. But I just want to wish everybody just a happy holiday, happy New Year. Hang with the Knights. We're going to be okay. We're going to get in the league, and then we still go on the road for our first 3 out of 4, I think. But I just want everybody to have some peace and quiet and enjoy your time with your family and have a great holiday season as well as yourself, Brian.
Thanks, you too, Coach, you to our family, and all of our Knights fans. Wish you all happy holidays. The Knights will close out the non-conference play on Thursday night at University of Maryland. Then they'll stay on the road for the start of NEC play on December 29th and 31st at LIU Brooklyn and Sacred Heart before finally returning here to the Rothman Center on January 4th. For all information about the FDU Knights and the men's basketball team, head to FDUKnights.com.